not come to preach today. I just came to talk about me. And I say me because God has told me to talk about me so that you can see Him. I have nothing prepared. I told y'all I understand that for Powerhouse, as shepherd, the Lord allows me to go through things to help bring somebody out. Because I know what I experience. I know that that's not me. I know that it's for somebody else. And so, after all of that, and I might not even be up here about 5 or 10 minutes, I don't know. But after all of that word, after all of that word on last week during the revival, see, what happens is people will look at a certain person, and because they possess certain titles or they perceive to be a certain way to you, you think that nothing goes wrong, nothing happens, everything is okay, everything is all right. But God knew that I would be that transparent one that will just tell the truth to let somebody know that, you know what, this happens not just to you, but I will show you how you can get through this. And after all of that word on last week, Friday night, leaving this church in the car, some kind of evil, wicked spirit tried to attach itself to me. And I went home Friday, and it was making me feel so inadequate.
Lord have mercy.
Everything you do is nothing. You have nobody that you can talk to.
Lord have mercy.
God, are you really real? Do you really speak to me? Or am I just doing these things because it's just me and I think it's the right thing to do? All of this stuff was coming to me. After all of that powerful anointed word that came forth on Friday, this past week, and I received and I allowed it to be planted in my life, I'm here to tell you it doesn't matter who you are or how much word you possess. There's a wickedness that's trying to come and destroy you and everything that is within you. I began to scream. I went in my closet. I'm crying out. And I didn't want to disturb my husband. I went in the closet and I'm screaming and crying out, God, what is going on? What's wrong? I don't like the way I'm feeling. God, what's going on? And the whole time I'm trying to talk to him, this wicked spirit trying to destroy my mind and everything that is within me. Everything you're doing at the church is nothing. Your preaching is nothing. Your teaching is nothing. Everything you do, the decisions you're making is worthless. And I was in that state. all of Friday night. I didn't even sleep in the bed with my husband because I just wanted to just go downstairs and just scream and holler. And I stayed on my recliner all night long. I had the cover over my face and I'm screaming but not making a sound. And I sat there it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I went down there and I sat down there all night. I would doze off and wake back up. And my mind was in such a turmoil. And then my mind went to the place, this evil wickedness took me to the place of where I heard Pastor Shaw said there were 65 pastors that have committed suicide because they felt like suicide was better than pastoring. I said, God, let me have a heart attack. I ain't doing it myself. God, let me have a heart attack. God, let something happen. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to pastor anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Sitting there saying that stuff all night long. Saturday, I said I wasn't going to tell them this, Lord, but I'm going to tell it anyway. I didn't even get up off that chair Saturday for nothing but just to use the bathroom. I didn't wash my face. I didn't brush my teeth. I didn't do anything. I wanted to just not be here. Nothing. My husband tried to call me from work. I left my phone upstairs on purpose so I would have to answer the phone. What do? You said, He will keep you in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on Him. Well, what do you do when your mind, it won't even go there? You're trying to think Him, but your mind won't even go there.
Lord have mercy. My
God.
What do you do? My God. What do you do when you try to get there? I'm trying, God, I'm trying. And then my husband comes home from work and I'm still sitting right there. And he preached to me for about 2 hours.
Yes, God. Thank you, Lord.
And then after he finished preaching, he said, "Where's my offering? I'm preaching you 2 hours." And he said, "Get up from there and go up there in your prayer room." I said, "No, I can't do it. I don't want to go up there." I could not. But I know that this is not for me. This is for somebody else. I had to go through that for somebody else. As long as I know that He will never leave me, nor will He forsake me, I'm not leaving Him either. Because my mind was made up. I had to go through that ordeal because I know somebody else needed to hear it. That it happens to the best of us. But I had my mind made up that if you let me make it to this morning, if you let me make it to the breaking of day, I'm going in my prayer room and I'm getting what I need from my God. I was asking God yesterday. I said, God, while I was sitting there on the couch, I said, God, just send somebody by. I know my husband loves me. I know he talks to me and I know he encourages me. He does all that he can to uplift me. But I said, I want to hear it from somebody else that don't know me. Send somebody by. Nobody came by. Then I find out this morning, after I got up and went into the prayer room, and my God just started leading me to different things and showing me different things. And I found out this morning that I was listening to something this morning, and he was talking about Peter, and when Peter began to sink, as he was walking on water, and he said that the Lord did not walk towards Peter. Peter was walking towards the Lord, and he got close enough to where the Lord just reached his hand out and picked him up. And he let me know that how can I come and give you what you need if you're not getting close to me? You got to get close enough to me for me to reach out. Oh, my hand is big, my hand is strong, my hand is long. Amen. But I'm not going to give it to you if you're not coming after me. So I'm asking him to send somebody by, and I'm sitting there. You have to go after it. Get up from here, go out, get in your car, go out, go after it. I sat right there and nobody came. After I got up this morning and got into the prayer room and began to pray and talk to God, and God talking back to me, God sent somebody to this church this morning. And they came in the office. Only because God sent them with a word. And not only with a word, but with an offering. You cannot just sit there and not do anything about it. He says he will keep you in perfect peace if your mind is stayed on him. But when your mind is in that turmoil place, you have got to fight. You have got to fight. That's a real fight. I'm like, Lord, here I go saying on Friday night, so will I. The man of God preached, if you suffer with me, you shall reign with me. And then his message was entitled, so will I. If you did it, Jesus, so will I. And I'm saying that all Friday night, so will I. So will I. And when the suffering came on that night, I didn't want to do it. We will stand here and we will sing all kinds of stuff. The first song we sing, Lord, I surrender all to you. Everything I give to you, withholding nothing.
All right, guys.
Sing that stuff. I surrender all. Think about it when that stuff comes. As I sat there yesterday, I did not surrender all at that moment. Because as those thoughts came, I tried to contemplate on those thoughts. I tried to meditate on those thoughts, trying to think God and still trying to hold on to those thoughts too. That's not surrendering all. That's not you saying, I'm not going to withhold anything. It's not.
All right.
We want to understand how to worship God. It's worship unto God when these things come against you like this. Those thoughts and those things come against you. But then I'm still saying, God, I don't care what kind of thoughts are coming. God, I don't care what's trying to take me out of your rest. I'm still going to thank you.
Yes, Lord.
That's worship unto God.
Yes.
It's not just all the time lifting your hands and singing and running around and doing all of that stuff. It's being obedient to his word. I'm going to fight for my mind. It is with the Lord. It is with the mind that I serve the Lord, Paul says.
Thank you, Lord.
I heard someone say that if you get delivered emotionally and physically, it's temporary. You got to get delivered right here. You've got to get delivered in your mind. You can come up here and physically fall out and shout and hallelujah and all of that stuff and feel like I'm free right here. But when that pain or that issue or that chaos hit after you leave here, if you're not delivered up here, it's going to affect you still the same way. It's going to be as if, are you really a healer? I just came to talk today. That's all. I just came to talk today. And I'm going to read you these few scriptures and I'm done. That's all the Lord told me to do today. My God. My God. I'm going to read Luke 14. I also heard this man this morning, Stephen Furtick. He was talking about anxiety. And he was talking about the reason why we get so anxious about things. That's the way I felt. Let me tell y'all something. I actually literally experienced the feeling of that wicked spirit. Let me tell you, every time, the whole time my husband was sitting there preaching to me, encouraging me, talking to me, I could feel that knot right here. That the thoughts of that was in my mind was trying to infiltrate my spirit, man, and I could feel it knotting up right here the whole time he was talking to me. But when and the only reason why that was happening was because I was still meditating on those other things. It's something, I'm telling y'all. It is something. He was talking about anxiety, and I was so anxious at the moment. Just anxious of what was going on. And he was saying the reason why we get anxious like that. Look at the middle letter of the word anxious, I. That word I in the middle of anxiety or anxious. The word I. And the reason it becomes anxiety is because of I. I feel like I'm not doing it. I feel like everything that I do is nothing. I feel like every decision I make is wrong. Yeah, you're going to feel anxiety because you think it's you that's supposed to be doing it. And it's not you, it's God that is supposed to be in control. This is why anxiety comes, because you're saying I. Then now when you're saying I, it not only becomes anxiety, but now it's pride. What letter is in the middle of pride? I.
Wow.
I feel like I can't do it. Of course you can't do it without him. And we're praying for peace. We're praying for the peace of God. But God has nowhere to put it because your mind is too full. We're praying for the peace of God. See, that's what I was praying. God, come on, give me peace. Give me peace, God. Look, God, you said if I keep my mind on you, give me peace, but my mind's still crowded with this other stuff. How can he bring peace if my mind's so full with the other stuff? He has no way to put it. Get that stuff off your mind.
Yes.
Somebody, you just look at somebody and tell them, get that stuff off your mind. 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 Hallelujah. Get it off your mind. Get it off your mind. Get it off. I want peace. I want peace. I want peace. Get it off your mind. Stuff off your mind. I just want to scream that. Get that stuff off your mind. Jesus. My Jesus. Just to read a couple of scriptures to you. And that's it. Well, I said Luke 14. Luke 14, I'm going to read verse 16. I'm going to read it, you know what, from the Amplified Bible. If you can pull that up on your phone, pull it up, or on your iPad. If not, it's going to be on the screen. So, it says, but Jesus said to him, a man was giving a big dinner, okay? and he invited many guests. So this is what Jesus is doing for us today, okay? He has invited us to this dinner, to this meal that he has prepared through me. Those words that I've just told you, that's a meal. God said, a man is giving a big dinner, and he invited many guests, and at the dinner hour, he sent his servant to tell those who had been invited to come, because everything is now ready.
Yes.
So he said to come, because everything is now ready.
Yes.
But they all alike, look at this, began to make excuses. This is why we're at the place that sometimes where we cannot fight, because when there is time to be in the presence of God, when there is time to be in God's face, when there is time to seek God, we make excuses. He says, but they all alike began to make excuses. The first one said to him, I have purchased a piece of land and I have to go see to it. Go out and see to it. Please consider me excused. Another one said, I have purchased 5 yoke of oxen and I am going to try them out. Please consider me excused. And another said, I have recently married a wife, and for that reason I am unable to come. Won't we come up with excuses? I tried to come up with all kinds of excuses yesterday why I shouldn't get in God's presence, why I shouldn't go up in my prayer room. I tried to come up with all kinds of excuses. So the servant came back and responded this to his master. Then his master, the head of the household, became angry at the rejections of his invitation and said unto his servant, God, it grieves God when God invites us in his presence and we don't come.
That's right.
And he said to his servant, go out quickly into the streets and the lanes of the city and bring in here the poor and the disabled and the blind and the lame. And the servant, after returning, said, Sir, what you commanded has been done, and still there's room. Then the master told the servant, go out into highways and along the hedges and compel them to come in, so that my house may be filled with guests. For I tell you, not one of those who were invited and declined will taste my dinner. If you don't do it, guess what? Sometimes we feel like, oh, they can't make it without me. Church can't go on without me. This can't go on without me. If you don't do it, God will compel somebody else to come in and take your place. And then he said, and the ones that I invited you, and you had a nerve to turn me down? You will not taste of the goodness of the Lord. All right, I want to read 2 Corinthians 10, 3 and 4. We're going to get past the place of denying God's invitation. Amen. I think I'm going to read that one from the King James Version. 2 Corinthians 10. 3 and 4. Listen, and I know we heard this over and over again. This is the place where we need to be today. For though we walk in the flesh, because it is our flesh that causes us to come up with excuses, not to do or to be where God is calling us. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. They are not natural. These are not natural things that are coming against you. These are spiritual, wicked, evil devices that come against us. All right, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but our weapons are mighty. How? Through God, to the pulling down of strongholds, we've got to begin to pull these things down, casting down imaginations, because that's what was happening to me yesterday. It was imaginations.
Yes.
That wasn't real stuff.
Yes.
That was an imagination of the enemy, that you're not doing this, you're not adequate, you're not capable, you're no good, you're not worthy. Those were imaginations. We got to learn to cast those things out, and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. The knowledge of God tells me that if the enemy is telling me that I am incapable, that you're worthless, you're not worthy, that you can't do this. If the enemy is telling us this, the knowledge of God says that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. This is what the knowledge of God does.
Yeah.
This is how you cast down. This is how you pull those high things that try to exalt, those imaginations of the enemy, those things that comes against your mind to make you think that you cannot go on any further in God. Those are those imaginary things of the enemy. What you need to do, if you don't know the Word of God, you're not going to be able to pull down those high things. Those are high things because He's the Prince of the air. Those are high things that try to attack your mind. He's coming head first. He's coming for the head first. This is why He comes against me. Because He tries to get me so that I won't be in a place to be able to help the people of God. I thank God that I know the Word of God. I know I don't know it all, but I do know what I need to know. I do know what I need to know to pull down those things that try to exalt itself against the knowledge of God.
Thank you, Lord. No higher than the head. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. You got to bring every one of those thoughts. You gonna obey God. You say I'm not worthy? Okay, watch me be worthy. Watch me do something that God tells me I'm worthy of. That I will bring that thought to God, to the obedience of Christ.
Yes. All right. Amen.
Bring it to the obedience of Christ.
Yes, Lord. Praise God.
And having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience.
Yes.
When your obedience is fulfilled. All right, so the last one I'm going to read to you is 1 Peter 5, 6, and 11. Or 6 through 11.
Got it?
King
Get
James.
it up.
This is what God tells us today. Stop being anxious. Stop letting anxiety. Yeah, all the stuff that you're going through, stop allowing yourself to be anxious or anxiety taking over. Because it is not you that can do it anyway. This is why we mess up, because we say, I can't. I can't. You cannot without Him. What He tells you to do when there comes to whatever it is that you are going through, Lisa, whatever it is that you are going through, this is how you're able to handle it. He says to humble yourself, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that He may exalt you in due time. It is Him that will exalt you. We don't think that we're trying to exalt ourselves, but we are when we say, I can't. Because you have said, if I could do it within my power, I will. That's pride. When you say I can't, you say if I could do it within my power, I will. But He says, no, you humble yourself and say, God, without you, I know this cannot be done. If you don't do it, it will not be done. Then He says, when you get to that place and humble yourself, that He may exalt you in due time, casting all. Can somebody read that one with me? Casting all your care upon Him. Do that again. Casting all your care upon Him. One more time. Casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. Be sober. Be vigilant, because the adversary, the devil, is a roaring lion, walking about, seeking whom he may devour. Whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. Knowing that the same afflictions. I heard something today. And see, this is why I went through it, because he's saying the same afflictions that you go through, somebody else, your pastor goes through the same thing. I heard this morning, God always he works in threes. Father God, Son God, Holy Spirit. And he said some more other things. The one thing I like, he said, revelation, affliction, and then resurrection.
I like that.
Revelation. See, God is not going to allow the affliction to come without first giving you revelation of his word. So once the revelation comes, then you better believe affliction is coming. Because you said, so will I. If I'm going to reign in this day, that means I got to suffer. But you're not going to suffer without revelation coming first. He's going to reveal his word to you. So revelation, then affliction, and then resurrection. After I go through that affliction. That's what Jesus did. Did he not do it? God revealed to him what he would go through. God revealed to him how he would do it. Then he went through the affliction. After his affliction was resurrection. Come on, oh my God, I'm so excited about my resurrection after what I went through on yesterday. I'm excited about being revived. My God. Jesus. We read this down to 11. But the God of all grace, who hath called us, don't play that yet. But the God of all grace, who hath called us unto his eternal glory by Jesus Christ, after that you have suffered a while, not forever. After that you have suffered for a while, stop crying when you go through. You're going to have to do it. You think that he's going to give us a whole week of powerful anointed word and we don't go through anything after that? See, we get the word and we shout and we get prophecy and we shout and we all happy. We think everything is going to be peaches and cream. Revelation, affliction, then resurrection. Thank you. Then resurrection. That's it right there, Lisa. Somebody ought to be giving them praise. Somebody ought to be giving them praise.
Yes, Lord.
After that you have suffered a while, may you perfect, establish, strengthen. That's that resurrection part right there. May you perfect, establish, strengthen, settle you. Oh my God. I shall not be moved like a tree planted by the rivers of water. After I suffer this one for a little while, I will be planted like a tree by the rivers of water. I shall not. I shall not be moved out of the knowledge of God that I have down on the inside of me. Regardless of what? Revelation, affliction, then resurrection. This last verse it says, to him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Come on, read that one with me. To him be glory